Washington.
At AM 630.
All right, everybody do your Tito Puente.
Oops, sorry. All right, hey! It's Friday morning, and Obamacare is still out there, but we're going to get to that in a little bit, because we've got some shaving to do.
That's right.
We invited Mayor Rob Ford down from Toronto for this special occasion, but he couldn't make it. So we have Dan Bongino. I think you've been listening along this morning and beyond. And Dan Bongino is with us. 14-year veteran of the Secret Service?
12 years.
12-year veteran of the United States Secret Service, providing presidential protection, among other things. And Dan Bongino was here on WMAL and Mornings on the Mall on October 21st, and we were talking about Obamacare and whether the president would ever apologize. Dan, not really walking out on much of a limb here, said, I don't think he's going to apologize. It went something like this.
I always say when I make a mistake, the first thing I learned this when I was just a kid. You make a mistake, you stand up and you go,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No chance.
I made a mistake.
Zippo chance.
This wasn't as I thought it would be.
I'll shave my head. I'll shave my head.
There it is.
The
There it
smoking
is.
gun right there.
There we go.
It's right there on the tape. It's right there. There's no Rosemary Woods to make that disappear. It's right there on the tape. And then, sure enough, President Obama came out sometime later, and he said the words, "I'm sorry." He did say the words, "I'm sorry." It was, the words were contained in a long, convoluted sentence. Unlike that, you can keep your health care plan if you like it, period. There was a comma attached to it. There were several commas in this statement by President Obama, but he did utter the words in sequence.
I am sorry that they are finding themselves in this situation based on assurances they got from me.
Yeah, well, based on assurances they got, that's where they screwed up, you see.
That's right.
If only it weren't for that. And Dan, being a man of his word, unlike some people in this city, without naming names, get into the name-calling thing, Dan Bongino said, well, I'm going to make good on my word, and I'm going to shave my cranium. My skull is going to be hairless. It's going to be... now, he was negotiating just up
Yeah, he's trying to weasel out.
about a minute ago.
No way.
And he said he wants to do a close
He's
trim, right?
He's like, what, shaving cream and razor?
I
Everything
put it
got
out to the
real.
public,
Yeah.
which I did. I said, let me tweet it out there, and here are some of the responses, folks. Burn it down. This means shaving cream and a Bic.
That's right.
Yeah, so one
Dan.
writes with 3 exclamation points. Bic it.
Bic
That
it.
was Bic, by the
Yeah,
way. Bic it. So,
Although technically, I think Gillette is involved here. It's a Mach 3 razor we're using.
that
The
right?
good folks from the
Dan,
Grooming Lounge are here.
Yeah.
You've heard the old phrase, skin to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skin to win, Dan.
And I think Dan was kind of hoping it'd just be like, shearing a sheep or something and make quick work of it. And
maybe a Caesar cut. Who knows?
No,
No,
nope.
double. I guess not.
And now we're
Make a
doing a
little-
whole 3-hour
make a little bit.
extravaganza on WMAO.
but now we're going to because the good people from the Grooming Lounge, a local organization here in Washington D.C. And I'm terribly sorry. Give me your names again.
Anne
Anne.
and Brittany.
You can understand why I couldn't remember Anne, right? And Brittany, Anne and Brittany is here. Anne is going to do the actual act. Brittany's more of a management type. She's the
Supervising
she's
the
the director.
operation.
She's
That's
keeping
right.
an eye on things here. And Anne is now taking what kind of a thing is that?
This is a wall peanut clipper.
It's a wall peanut clipper. All right, and it's an electric clipper. Let me have a little dose of that here. There it is.
It's not called the peach fuzz.
I think everybody knows that sound.
Yeah.
Before he backs out, get after it. Yeah.
And here it goes. There you go. Here we go. We're starting on the right temple. We're working our way down to the right ear.
There's no going back now.
Now there's definitely no. Well,
Hair everywhere.
you could still save a mohawk if you pulling the right ear down.
Good that she moved the ear.
The wall. There goes the wall. Yeah.
You could go halfway and
No
just
pain
stop.
involved at all.
Anne looks like a professional here. She's doing this with great skill and I would say aplomb as well.
While Anna's shaving Dan's head, maybe this is a good time to tell you that the Grooming Lounge is the D.C. area's premier destination for superior men's haircuts, hot leather shaves, massages, and other spots. There you go.
I must say, total chaos has erupted in the studio.
There-
Having
there-
been here
Now,
folks,
okay, now
many
wait, can
times.
we, Ann, can I just ask you, can you now start on the other side so we got a mohawk?
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, that's a
That way we get a
good.
picture of
Yeah,
the
we gotta get the mohawk.
So basically, just so you know, I would say he's about 40% up to the top of the head now, right?
Yeah,
And now we're going on the other side. So
right
we will have a
side.
mohawk
Going quicker
situation.
than I thought.
Right side is down to Marine Corps cut.
And by the way, I will be going to the Marine Corps Ball tonight in Hagerstown. So that is a program.
Frogs everywhere
so
during
maybe
this
I will
shaving.
see you there.
Is
Speaking
that
of
right?
that,
Yeah, I will. I committed to it yesterday.
well, if anyone would like to get groomed before going to join you there, Dan, they could go to one of the Grooming Lounge's locations. There's one on L Street in Washington, D.C., and one in Tyson's Galleria.
You are
Grooming
so
Lounge gift
smart.
cards are a can't miss holiday present, by the way, for all your holiday needs. Thanksgiving, Hanukkah.
Well, I told them as an ode to the grooming
Here it
lounge.
goes. Here it goes. All right, even out. We gotta freeze it in mohawk. Oh, wait, leave a nice
All right, let's get a couple
pelt
pictures
down
of
the
the
center
mohawk.
so we can get a photo.
Like a
It
speed
is.
bullet or something.
Yeah,
She
and
is
then
very efficient.
we should
man.
just leave like 1/4 size thing in the front, like Pee Wee Herman.
Patch.
Yeah, kind of a little thing in there.
And do you do shrubbery as well? Because during the off season.
She is moving. Look at her.
Very
look
well.
over
It's like a
And it's going.
topiary.
Let's get some pictures here with the hair.
Can I just say, this is not a good look for you.
Look at Heather over there.
Let me check this out.
Yeah.
I actually use my mirror function.
Oh, mirror fire. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta have a mirror. You gotta have an electronic mirror. Now you need batteries to look at yourself.
Now
you know?
that's a look right
That
there.
is. That's good.
That's like linebacker for like the Oakland
Now,
Raiders or something.
For those of you who are
Yeah.
wondering, of course, this YouTube will be posted, of course, at WMAL.com and on our Facebook page at WMALDC. And also, all of you WMAL listeners, you can receive 50% off all Grooming Lounge products and services in store through this Monday. You got to mention the code WMAL. That's just for you.
It's a secret
WMAL
code.
listeners, so you can get your own Bongino thing going on. In fact, Ann, you're at Grooming. If they say, "I want Ann to give me the Bongino," that's right.
Yeah, the full
I
Bongino.
want
I like this idea.
At this one, see where we are right now. It's the Travis Bickle.
That's right.
All I
This
use
is
the
very taxi
tattoos for
driver.
that logo.
Take it out.
All right, it's time.
All right, I think we're ready to go. Nothing but a mohawk, and there it goes. Oh man. Oh, Anna's all
My
over
wife
this.
just texted me a big no.
She is. Too late now. You know, it's the difference. You know, they say the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is 2 weeks. In your case, it's going to be a little longer than that.
Well, I did promise the grooming room located at, I'm sure Larry.
Grooming Lounge.
Grooming Lounge.
At L Street in
Grooming room may be
Washington.
something different.
Yeah.
When my hair grows back, I will go back there for a trim, a pruning.
All right, we're putting away the wall peanut shaver there.
Here comes the real.
It's a.
Now it gets
Yeah.
serious. So
Well,
basically, so just so you know, Theater of the Mind, Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent, radio show host here, and candidate for 6th District in Maryland for the House of Representatives. He currently has a shaved head with, what would you call it, about an eighth of an inch?
Here comes the hot towel, the hot black
A
towel.
that's
sixteenth
great.
of an inch.
The hot black towel. Look, he looks like a terrorist. Yeah, right, exactly. I think I saw that guy in the Benghazi tapes.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, he's the Sheikh Raizuli over here.
Does that feel good, Dan?
Oh,
What
it
does
feels
like?
terrific.
Does
Nice
it?
and warm.
Now I couldn't figure out what these big boxes they were plugging in were in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what is that? A warmer? A towel
You
warmer?
gotta have
Yeah.
a hot towel before you do the shaving cream.
I'm beginning to wonder whether we've got a vacuum cleaner in here, whether we thought this thing through.
Oh, it'll be here when we start the mornings on the mall. on
Well, I
There's a
have
big
tomorrow's
pile of hair over
show,
there.
4 to 7. So post-shave analysis, post-Chris plan.
Right.
is on the mall
Are you
show.
plugging your own show now?
Yeah,
It
why not?
is.
Hey, I got-
Shameless. That is shameless.
It's actually WMAL's, but listen, if I can get 3 hours of people on post-shave analysis, I'll take it.
All right, so now I'm already seeing people call in and say, that they want Chris and Brian and I to shave our heads. Just save yourself the cell minutes, okay? That's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
If you
No,
had
no,
a
no,
hair
not
like
that-
this, would you shave it?
I'm listening. They have. I see the call board right there. Anton on the cell will pay $100 to the Fisher House for each WMAL
We love
who
Fisher
shaves our
House.
head.
It's gonna take a lot
I'll
more
pay
than
$100 if I don't have to.
$101, yeah. By the way, Dan, I would like to remind you and everyone listening that this entire situation is Barack Obama's fault.
It is.
I think it's
But
important
Chris
that we
said it
bear
right.
that in mind.
Sequence matters, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sequence
Although
down
it
there.
really, folks, was an apology. I think you and I both know that
now
there's no
comes the-
chance it was.
Well,
an apology.
he is sorry that you find
looks good.
yourself in this situation.
My
Dan.
personal opinion, I know the president doesn't like me too much. I haven't been former
You
Service
think?
runners or Republican. I could guarantee you they were in some secure conference room somewhere going, How do we really screw this Bongino guy? Just utter the words I'm sorry. Just say I'm sorry. Maybe I'm kidding. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Bongino will shave his
You know,
head,
because
so.
the people at the White House do not listen to WMAL, but they do monitor WMAL.
Exactly. It's a fine distinction.
So now comes the application of the cream.
Are we ready for this, or
Oh,
what's
no,
the
there you go,
situation?
Andy, we're
Ann?
getting a little lotion. What is that?
Wash.
Oh, the wash. We're going to
I'm
wash.
waiting for some water.
Oh, you're waiting,
Okay.
waiting for some
Trying
water.
to
We
get
have,
some water,
yeah,
so
we have
she's-
limited plumbing on the floor, I think.
I want to just remind y'all, WMAL listeners, you can receive 50% off all Grooming Lounge products and services in store through this Monday. Just mention the code WMAL, and I ain't going to do that again.
15%.
15,
Yeah,
15%,
15%, and you have to mention the secret code swordfish. No,
No, that
WMAL,
gets you something
WMAL
totally
is the,
different.
that's a different lounge.
Chris is on
But
fire.
strangely, also down by the Mayflower Hotel.
From him opening up the show with he's going to shave his head to this point, yeah,
Elliot,
it's fuego time.
ask for the Elliot Spitzer suite.
Chaos is erupted again.
So, Ann, do you get asked to shave heads a lot? Is this part of your into the mic if you can? Is this part of?
Yeah, we get a lot of guys coming in to shave their heads or faces.
Really?
Absolutely, like every week.
No kidding.
Mhm.
All right. So how many heads would you say that you have shaved?
Oh, a couple hundred.
Seriously, a couple
Yeah.
hundred. Wow.
So you're a youngish woman. I mean, is there?
I'd say she's very young.
Woman.
Very young.
I'm trying not to be creepy.
You failed.
Do
Yeah,
some,
it's not working.
are some heads, bald heads, more attractive than others?
It's all about the shape of the head. So
Yeah.
there are some people who,
Have
No.
peanut-shaped heads and stuff.
yeah, but when you start losing your hair, it's kind of the only option.
Yeah.
For
And
some
what is
guys.
your professional opinion of Bongino's head here, or do you have to reserve a judgment until it's completely?
Wouldn't
actually
wanna
shaved
be.
and
He's
clean?
got a nicely shaped head.
There you go. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My wife's clearly
You can
upset.
put that in
Yeah.
one of your fundraising.
now.
emails.
Hey, now we're lathering up there. I gotta get some. What is that? What is that? We're washing now, getting a good
This is the
scrubbing.
You guys happy now with the Barbasol and the Mach 3?
I'll be
Oh,
happy when you look like Vincent Price in
I-
that egghead in the Batman show.
You remember when George Bush W. Bush became president of the United States? He went on David Letterman and did a top 10 list, top 10 things he was going to do when he moved into the White House.
Right.
And I think the first one was give the Oval Office a good old scrubbing.
Yeah, that's right.
A good old scrub. So Dan Bongino's head is getting a good old scrubbing over here. Good.
Oh, you get the warm towel again. This is actually nice. I
Wow.
didn't realize this was going to work out so well
Man, this
for
is
me.
like a spa.
look
Yeah, this ain't bad. Bill, I'll tell you, you go high end. Folks, when this happened,
Yeah.
program manager here, Bill, asked me if I had a barber. And I said, I don't know. My barber wasn't going to do the hot towel treatment and everything, so I'm glad I let you guys pick. This was great.
This is
They
pretty
don't mess
cool.
around at WMAL.
Yeah.
I imagine it's
Only the best, right, Chris?
The grooming lounge,
You
baby.
get to do the whole reclining chair, like the whole treatment. And
Like the gangster
That would have
thing.
been really
You're
nice.
stuck here on one of these broadcast chairs here.
That
Yeah.
may
which
be
is not
next.
as
Now,
Now,
you're
here comes the stuff that slicks up your head for the shaving.
Now we're getting ready.
What is that? So does that soften the stubble? Is that what that does?
Now we're using the shave cream and the shave oil together.
Now,
That's going to
shaving
help.
cream and the shaving oil together.
So you have supple
Oh, look
skin
at
when
your
it's
head.
all over.
Man, that is frightening.
I know, it is quite scary.
Have you ever shaved your head before? Have you ever had?
I did, but never down to like
Down to skin.
You shaved
Yeah,
it. You
that's
shaved
right.
it with a shaver, with
right,
a
with like a wall shaver.
yeah, uh-huh.
And it was I was just telling Ann off the air that I must have dropped the shaver before, and she was explaining to me that when the blades get out of kilter, it just like rips the hair out. I was shaving my head, was the most painful thing ever. So I looked at her, going, "Is this gonna hurt?" She's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, why would this hurt? Because when I did it, I tore the hair out
You
of
had
my
a
head.
bad razor.
It was not fun.
Well, that's why we brought in professionals. We don't want any blood.
No,
and
yeah.
blood
All
around
right,
here.
it's
All right, here comes
9:21,
Ann.
and
Here it
this
is.
is it. This is the moment.
This is it.
Bowl of
Razor
hot
is in
water.
hand.
Here comes the razor.
Is that it's a triple edge razor?
Mach 3, yep.
It's the Mach 3 razor. Oh, there's the first stroke.
There it is. Now, listen, it's the event horizon has been crossed.
There it
We're in
is.
The black hole.
What does it
right
feel
now.
Yeah,
like?
man.
You know what? I tell you, I think that warm towel thing and the oil really helped. Because when
Yeah.
I shave my face,
Distracting
you might as well shave with a chainsaw.
Wow.
I get the worst razor burn, but this doesn't feel too
What
bad.
kind of situation isn't made better with oil and a hot towel?
Once again, that's the Elliot Spitzer suite.
And back to Bill Clinton's Oval Office.
Wow. Yeah, wow is right. The things I do for WMAL.
Bill, I really must like you.
Yeah, man.
Really.
You know, I got to tell you, I mean, it's cleaning it up, but the razor got it almost all the way down to the bone. You know?
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, do we really need the Barbasol? The
Yeah, oh,
shaver
yeah,
was called
definitely.
The peanut,
Yeah.
not the peach fuzz.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is looking good.
You like,
Yeah.
really? Is it?
Yeah, it is,
I-
yeah.
I don't know about that. I think you guys are trying to make me feel better.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that.
And I must like you too. You know, I knew this was Breaking Bad the day your show, Chris, when Michael
Speaking
called
of
me.
Breaking Bad.
Right before Michael called, a guy posted on my Facebook, "Hey, Obama just said, I'm sorry, you going to stick to your..." I thought, oh boy, here we go. And then
That's
sure
right.
enough, I see a call from D.C. I'm thinking, who's this? Hey, Dad, it's Michael Piercy. Oh boy. I knew this thing was degenerating quickly. Yeah, you got to keep
Well,
it
we
going.
knew that you're a man of your word, and that you wanted to be held to account.
Well, I was afraid you'd never let me guest host for you.
See, here's the thing:
So I'm
you,
like,
you
I
make
better do this.
you make vows. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But you make vows in public, and they're recorded.
Yes.
And you say it 30 or 40 times. Oh, wait a minute! You only said this once.
Yeah, exactly.
And Brian warned me. Remember in the commercial?
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
said- I said,
dude,
"Oh,
this
man,
is
I
going to
can't
go
believe you
bad
did
for
that,
you.
dude."
Is that right?
Well,
He
all of this
did.
happened. Dan was filling in for me on October 21st. I had a day
Right.
off. Well, Bill, he kicked me out for a day.
Uh-huh.
And then Dan was filling in, and then he and Brian were talking about it.
We
What
were
did you
almost
think,
done with the
Brian?
show. We were almost done.
Yes.
Almost clear and free.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I wonder, when the president comes out late, whether he'll say, I'm sorry. And you said, there's no chance. I'll shave my head. I said, really, dude? You wanna
This
do
is an
that?"
experienced broadcaster, Brian.
You didn't say that like if he says I'm sorry and he means it. See, if you'd said that,
I
you'd be
know,
off the
I
hook.
know, right? A little caveat, Chris, was all I
Yeah,
needed.
yeah. I mean, just like Obama with that 40 times that you can keep your health care plan. Just put a comma instead of a period on that, and he's okay. But here he said it.
When I,
The president say two simple words that I always say when I make a mistake. The first thing I learned this when I was just a kid. You make a mistake, you stand up, you go,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No chance.
I made a mistake.
Zippo chance.
Zippo.
Zippo.
Like a Zippo razor.
Like the lighter.
Shave my head if he says I'm sorry. Heather's like, I will shave my head.
All right, there's very little left now.
And now
What do we have left?
here's
Oh, now we're going forward with the razor on the top of the head.
yeah, my hair will never grow back.
It's-
And-
hair will
and I
never
don't know if
grow
you heard
back.
that. I bring Heather in the mix too. It's like a third-party
Wow, look
verifier.
at that.
of this thing.
Man, that's being very skillfully done by Ann here. And
For those of you joining us, Dan Bongino is in fact getting his head shaved right now because he promised he would if the president apologized. And this video will be up at WMAL.com and also our Facebook page. And it's really quite stunning, I have to say. Ann, you're doing a great job.
And Ann is doing a wonderful job. And I just noticed that Ann's nails, her nail polish, match her outfit. It's,
I didn't-
Yeah, and Bongino's, which is strange.
yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
I did not catch that. Yeah.
Here's the
Yeah.
question, Chris Plant. If
Yes.
the president had said to the American people, if you end up losing your insurance plan because of the Affordable Care Act, I will shave my head.
Right.
Do you think he would have shaved his head?
I'd have to shave his entire body and his family, too.
Now, he has a barber in the White House, so that's always
And
very
the dog.
convenient.
Don't
And
forget
the dog,
both
Bo,
of them.
they'd have to
Yeah.
show, they have that Belgian swishy dog or whatever it is.
It looked like that Austin Powers dog, Dr. Evil's dog. That dog.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we did. That was a cat.
I think it was, yeah, I
Was
think
that a
it,
cat?
It was a hairless
yeah, it was,
cat.
That
it was
was a
a
dog.
hairless cat.
Now,
Yeah.
what are you applying now?
This is aftershave?
After
Aftershave. It looks
Yes.
foamy and
Full
lustrous
treatment.
Is it
and luxurious.
maybe some Jovan Musk?
It-
A
it-
little Old Spice?
It's a little musky from here. It's a little Ed Musky. Which is,
Poor lady.
So-
Say that.
All right, the deed is done.
it's not a joke for everyone, Ed Musky.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he is.
It is. Head shave. Yeah. Getting a little salve on that thing there. There it is.
Well, I just got a tweet from my wife. You're in the basement tonight.
All right.
So
I am
thank
not
you
a
all.
dog.
Thank you, WMAL, for damaging
All right.
permanently.
Well,
Well done.
a man of his word.
Once again,
Man of his
congratulations,
word.
and thanks to the Grooming Lounge. Once again, I want to remind you, WML listeners, you get 50% off. Just go to the store, Grooming Lounge, and mention the code WMAL. Or just say Bongino. They'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Bongino. That is. All right, Dan Bongino, any final words?
Oh, what do you say about a debacle like this?
What do
Thank
you
you,
say?
WMAL. And yes, I stuck.
Oh,
to
look,
my-
there's the black headdress again. There he is. The Sheikh Raizuli returns. All right, we're gonna break it up here. Pardon me, and come back with all the updates on Obamacare. I've got a question for you. I think you might want to answer. Just guessing, thinking. And everybody else is bugging out. You got Brian
Yeah.
Wilson here, beginning his weekend.
That's right.
Larry,
Headed
what
to
do you
Oklahoma
like?
City.
You going to Latvia for the weekend?
To
Or?
Oklahoma to watch the Sooners game.
You going to Oklahoma for the weekend?
Football, college football.
Are you going to Oklahoma?
Yeah, which by the way means red people. So I'm
Yeah,
going to
racist.
protest that
Yeah.
racist state.
There you go. All right, have fun at the Oklahoma game. Round of applause for Dan Bongino.
Thank you.
Truly a man of his word.
Yes.
That's one in town. We're going to start keeping score from here. We'll be right back.
Couldn't hurt at all. She's gonna get
There it
a
is.
cold towel.
There's the-
Yeah, there it is.
Kind of close everything up with the cold towel.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, cool.
There's the I'm sorry.
Thanks for letting us
Thanks, guys.
put your show.
To the Chris
Oh,
Plant
please.
Show.
Thanks, Dan. Have a good time tomorrow.
Thanks,
Bye,
buddy.
Grooming Lounge.
Bye,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
6:30.